Hi, this is Rob Crowder. Welcome to the Presidential Test Kitchen. Over the last several weeks, we've been really trying a lot of different international foods, and today is pretty much the same. We've done Brazilian in the past, we've done Mexican, we've done Asian, and we've always done Italian. But today we're going to try something new, Indian-based food. And today we're going to be making a yellow curry chicken with basmati rice, and I'm going to make, for the first time, homemade naan bread. Naan bread that's not going to have yeast in it. I know most naan bread does have it, but the president doesn't always have a lot of luck with yeast. So come on over a little bit closer. I want to show you the three main spices that I'm going to be using. They're Indian, definitely. There's a yellow curry. There's a coriander. And then finally, there's turmeric. These are very basic spices that they use in India. I've been to India a couple of times, and you will definitely have these spices in your meals there. Now, I'm going pretty mild on this. Typically, my family doesn't really like the spicy. I do, so what I'll do is put some red pepper or cayenne pepper into my portion to heat it up a little bit. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put the curry in a bowl, coriander, and again, you can get the exact measurements a little bit later on the recipe that will be included, and then the turmeric. Also, I've got here some salt, and I've also got a little sugar. So what we're going to do is we're going to simply mix this up. You want to really mix it up very good, because when you put it in the liquid in a second, you'll see that it would clump up on you. You don't want big taste of curry and all this other stuff. So, okay, so now that we've got our spices ready to go, I am going to actually be cooking this in a slow cooker. Now, I could definitely cook it on the stove top and everything else, but unfortunately the President and First Lady have somewhere to be tonight, and I wanted us to be able to eat when we got home, so that's why I'm going to do it in a slow cooker. So what I'm first doing is putting in 30 ounces of coconut milk. I'd already put 1 can in before we started taping. The next step is I am going to put our spices that we just made into the coconut milk. I'm going to try to get some of this, get that in sort of sticking there, and I'm going to stir this around. Really try to incorporate it into the coconut milk. Luckily, the President also brought over his whisk, so I can really get in there and get after it. Next thing, I can already smell the curry. I wish you had smell-o-vision. What I've got here is 2 garlic cloves that I chopped up very finely, and 2 tablespoons of butter. I put that in there, stirred it up. And now what I've got is approximately a pound, maybe a little bit more, of chicken breasts, boneless, skinless chicken breasts. And I'm just going to put those in there. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take approximately 4 cups of sweet potatoes. And I'm going to put those in there. And then finally, I am going to put in a small sweet onion that I've really chopped up very fine. You won't even see it once we're ready to eat. And I'll put that in there. I'm going to try to incorporate this the best I can. Of course, we've got the chicken in there already, so it's going to be a little hard of stirring all this around. But the key is I'm trying to cover up as much as I can. And it looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is this is going to go on, if you're going to cook it fast, on high for 4 to 5 hours, or if you're going to cook it slow, 5 to 6 hours. What I'm going to do when we come back in a little while, once it's cooked, I'm going to shred the chicken in here with 2 forks. I'm going to add a little bit more coconut milk, and then I'm going to cook it for probably another 30 minutes. And once I'm done then, I'm going to let it sit for 20 minutes while I'm making the rice. Then we will have a dinner, once the naan bread is made, of a true Indian meal. So come on back a little bit later. This is Rob Crowder, the President of Barbecue. Hi, this is Rob Crowder, the president of Barbecue, and now we're going to make some naan bread. N-A-A-N, naan bread. It is a bread that's used not only in Thailand but also in India. So what I've got here in front of me, I am not going to use yeast in this. What I've got here is 1 3/4 cups of just all-purpose flour. And what I've got here is 2 teaspoons of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 3/4 teaspoon of baking powder. I'm going to put this in here, and with a whisk, I'm going to stir it up. Then what I'm going to do is sort of make sort of a well here in the middle of this. And what I'm going to add is a 1/2 cup of milk and 2 teaspoons of olive oil. Now the process calls for me to knead this now for 5 minutes. So I've kneaded the dough and I've let it sit for 10 minutes. Come on over and let's take a look. I've just put some flour, all-purpose flour down. This is what it made. And what I'm going to do now, just like making biscuits, I'm going to start rolling it out. I'm going to do a little bit by hand and then I'll start rolling it out. The goal is to get this to 1/8 of an inch. So you can see I've got a long ways to go. And just like if you were doing bread, constantly turn it over to make sure it's not sticking. And get a workout doing this. Just keep working it back and forth. I'd say it's about 1/4 of an inch now. So I'm going to focus on one part. And it doesn't need to be in a certain shape. It can be in any shape that you want, or whatever it happens. I'm going to turn it this way now to see if I can get it smoothed out a little bit better. So we're getting pretty close now. You can see it's about, it's close. And then what I'm going to do, this should be cut up into about 9 pieces, 9 to 10 pieces. So I'm just going to cut it. Maybe I won't get 9 out of it, but that's okay. I can always make more. Okay, so this is ready to be fried. I'm not going to do it yet. In a few minutes we'll actually cook this. Hi, welcome back. What we have here is I did roll this out a little bit more, this naan bread. You can see it right here. And it's very thin, 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch. What I've done is also melted some butter, and I'm going to put that pretty liberally on the outside, and then once I get it in the pan, I'll put some on the other side. And I'm going to put this in over medium-high heat, a pan that's already warm. Put this one in here too. And I think I'm going to put one more in there since I have the room. I'm going to do this in stages as it gets done. What's going to happen is this is going to take approximately 90 seconds on each side, and it'll actually turn brown on the bottom. When it turns brown, that's when it's time to turn it. Total cooking time, no more than 1.5 minutes. Should be very quick. So I'm going to go ahead, like I said, and put the butter on the outside of this so it's ready to turn in a few seconds. The butter also helps it brown as well. I did want to show you one other thing while we're here. This is the yellow chicken curry. As you can see, you'll be able to see nice chunks of the chicken. You'll be able to see the sweet potatoes. It's very nice. Now this is very mild. I did not put red peppers in it. I didn't put any spices in it, mainly because my family overall does not like spice. I am going to put some cayenne pepper in mine, not to get it too hot, but just a little more seasoning. So come on back in a few minutes. It'll be time for plating very shortly. Well, we've got it all plated up. Come on over here and take a look. This is yellow chicken curry on a bed of basmati rice. And you can see the sweet potatoes and the chicken. And again, this is a mild one. This is for the First Lady who's done the taping for us. And over here you can see the beautiful naan bread. So here's another recipe by the president of barbecue. Now I did find out today that this meal is not only for India, but it is also considered a Thai dish. So I didn't want to create an international problem here, so I'm giving fair credit to both countries. So come on back for some more videos, and this is the president of Barbecue, Rob Crowder.